Shout out to you, whatever your name is. I don't want to do that part on YouTube. You're awesome. Thank you for subscribing to me. Anyway, I could review these in order, but I won't. I'll review them in the order I read them. I guess that is in order. Okay, but here you go. These two Suicide Squads were okay, but did they make me want to pick up the next issue? No, they did not. I mean, I'm sort of intrigued by the Earth 3 thing, but as a reader, no, I don't want to pick up the next issue of Suicide Squad. Because that Earth has been erased so many times that it's not even funny. And all it takes is Metron appearing. So, it's that easy. So, I don't see any point in getting invested in a Suicide Squad story. And plus, I don't like Peacemaker. I really don't. He reminds me of the Comedian, which is fitting because he's the character the Comedian's based on. But, yeah, I don't want to read a whole book about Peacemaker. Peacemaker is, I don't know. He can kind of be left in Earth 3 as far as I'm concerned. So that's what I think of those two. As a combined story, I like that Peacemaker was a good guy in this one, but I don't trust it. It's like saying that fire is not gonna happen just because we said it. It ain't gonna happen. So, yeah. Anyway. I liked the Black Adam story, however. The Black Adam story made me very happy because it confirmed something I've been saying for a very long time, that the 1 million event never ended. It just went on to the next story. Yes, it said end in the back of the book, but that future has always been steaming ahead, on track to happen. But anyway, that's a whole different story. I had started a chat room courtesy of CBR called How the 1 Million Event Never Ended. I got a lot of doubters. In fact, if any of the doubters are out there watching this right now, and if any of my friends from How the 1 Million Event Never Ended, the chat room, are still around and watching this, let me know. If you guys end up seeing this, I've always considered us friends. I mean, you put up good debate, and I'd be curious to know what you thought of this issue. you all know that the fate of Resurrection Man has always sort of been in the back of my mind, especially that the very beginning of the New 52 picks up right where the last Resurrection Man left off. I mean, I've done videos about it. I think if they do another series, I will do a follow-up video of my previous finally. But yeah, right now, as it stands, I'm disappointed that they killed off Mitch Shelley in the future, which means no matter what happens to him in the present, he is still, as far as we know, on track to die that way, courtesy of the unkindness. I would give the 1 million events story in this book, The Suicide Squads, a higher grade than I would give the actual Suicide Squad story. But yeah, that is just me. You know, I love when they do 2 stories in one. So anyway, back in present time in the story, you got this, which, yeah, Shazam fighting the unkindness, and you know the unkindness is gonna, like I said, it's headed for the 1 million event, so that story is sort of, I don't know. If they gave Shazam his own event, I'd be happy, but at the same time, I don't know if I would pit him against that villain. Seemed a bit strong for him, and it's quite a way to end a series, but it is what it is. Not what I would have written. And Deadman being in someone else's body, dressed up as the Question, because that's what Deadman does, is sort of weird, honestly. It really is. Because it raises further questions like, who was that body and why was he using him? Was he okay with it? I mean, was it like the Question from the New 52? Or was I right? Was it a speedster? The reason I thought it was a speedster's body, well, was because, like I said in the video, he seemed to be thinking on a whole different realm of, he seemed to be more aware, which, I don't know. Honestly, like I said, Deadman can only possess people, so that I wanted to see more of the Question that they featured here. I want them to explain why he knew it wasn't Billy right away. Yeah. And if that's one of the key components that I remember from the story, it's not to do with Shazam, I guess it's good, but in a way it's also kind of bad, because I'm talking more about the Question than I am about what happened to Billy. I don't want to give that away. That was crazy. Yeah. This didn't have another story, that I will tell you, but I did like it for what it was at the time. It's just now that I'm thinking about it, I see a lot of questions and basic stuff they probably missed. Now on to Generations Fractured. Wait. Generations the Generations book. Anyway, I think that this should have had Supernova in it. I mean, would it really have been that much work to put Supernova in it? I really don't know. It had everything else in the kitchen sink. It had Earth 2 Batman, and it is Earth 2 Batman. It had Wave Rider, so we know that connects to the Wave Rider loop. Because Wave Rider dies by the hands of Skeets. It tried to have an explanation as to why things age slower, but like I said, I always thought it was multiple Earth, but that was just me. Let's see, what else am I missing? Yeah, it didn't have the Linear Men. It didn't say if they freed Rip Hunter. Like to think they did. But this is going on at the same time as our next book. Infinite Frontier. But let's talk about this a little longer. I liked that Future Booster wasn't willing to tell him everything. If the two stories were going on simultaneously, I liked that they didn't run into one another. They didn't say, oh, there's Wonder Woman, or that was a definite plus. I'm not doing grades today. I feel that's taking away from my compliments. I don't want the art. I don't want them of this focus, specifically this book, to focus on the grade that they would get from me. Yeah. I don't want them saying, oh, that's C, that's B, and Bob, you're gonna say, they don't ever see your videos. You never know. Dreams do come true, kids. Maybe someday. This didn't end with the end. It ended with the beginning. yeah, it was really cool that way. Good book. I like that. I really like books that focus on the Wave Rider loop. But yeah, that's on to the next book. That's on to the next book. Okay. This was kind of like Kingdom Come, but for main DC. Oh, we're gonna care about it in 10 years continuity. Um, I liked that it didn't have many commercials. That it wasn't like major, huge focus on the unkindness, and it wasn't like, oh my goodness, this is gonna happen for sure. No, it was a story that I'd like to think that I could add on to someday if I became a professional comic book writer guy. I like the end. I'm not gonna spoil that. I liked how you got multiple stories in one book, but it was like you could read them as one story too. The whole thought was just connected and stuff. I really like when books do that. I liked that they brought in the quintessence. I like them. Will I spend money on the next issue? Probably. Probably. Yeah. Did it take away from, say, any of the Generations books? No. It was its own thing. You could probably hop on this easier than you could Generations or Shazam or even Suicide Squad, as much as it pains me to say that. If I did pick of the weeks, if I was doing a pick of the week this week, I would definitely say Generations gets the pick of the week, but this comes close. Yeah. Also, I would like to do a DuckTales video. So, look out for that. Hopefully I get a couple more book reviews posted. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I didn't say and and too much. And you liked it. I really did try quite hard for this one. Thank you very much for your time. Bob out. Again, no score today. Okay, I know this is already long, but I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that in this book right here, Black Adam Goes Good. And that kind of feeds into my belief that the 1 million event is still going on, folks. Again, I really enjoyed this book. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video.